Hi guys, welcome back. This is day number 8 now and start of a new week. It's Monday. So let's begin down on our mats again. Grab some blocks if you enjoy working with them. I'm Natalie Simmonds, back taking you through another week. So when you're ready, coming to a kneeling position to begin with, we're going to just give our wrists a little bit of love as we start. So interlace the fingertips, hug the elbows in slightly, and then just start to roll the wrists. It's just going up and around. And as we do this, coming into your breath. So if you're familiar with your Ujjayi breath, starting to take a big inhale and exhale out via the nose with a gentle whisper down the back of the throat. And then starting to go in the opposite direction, which is going to feel a little bit weird at first. But just start to maneuver the wrists up and around, getting a bit of a stretch in the forearms as well, perhaps. We're used to being at our desks a lot, on our phones a lot, so this will really help us in our practice today. Today's a bit more of a creative sequence. We're going to start to get used to moving around our mats a little bit more, coming into almost mandala territory. So enjoy as we start to move through different directions today, multi-directional. So when you're ready, let your arms come out long. Give me 2 big fists and just start to fist and then expand the fingertips. So really stretching them away from you, really extending. We're just going to take 3 more. Go 2. Go 1 more, and then as we come forward, tuck your toes under, sit your hips back, and reach your palms forward, almost like you would in your child's pose, but we're peaking the sit bones up and back, getting a really nice shoulder stretch here as you just let your head rest down into your mat, perhaps massaging it from right to left along the third eye. Starting to set your intention for this practice, perhaps for this new week ahead of you. Could be as simple as just remaining present. So just allowing yourself to leave everything else you've been doing to the side for the next 30 minutes, taking time out for you. And start to develop the breath a little further here. So again, bringing you back to that trilogy of the mind, body, and breath. So often our body is off doing something while our mind is somewhere else, and we're never bringing the two together. So here's our chance to really tap into that and channel them both being in the same place mindfully. From here, inhale up, rolling through the spine, pressing out to find almost a plank position, doming through your upper back, protracting through the shoulders, and again, bend the knees, pull the hips back. Inhale 1 more time, pressing away, lifting the thighs off the mat, scooping up through the center there, lifting navel. Drawing it back, and then walk your fingertips in. Try to keep your toes tucked, big toes touching if you can, and then just make sure that the baby toes are even included in this. So make sure that they're tucked under as well. Some of us may find it quite easy to sit back here on the feet if they're feeling particularly tight, which is common. Bring yourself forward slightly for a moment if you need to. So we're back here for a second, eyes still closed if we can manage that. And we're going to take 3 more rounds of breath here. Feel free to add the arms in, reaching them up or perhaps behind the back while you're here. Opening up through your heart center. 2 more breaths. Inhale, allowing the belly to rise slightly, and exhale, feeling the navel draw back towards the spine. Last full breath here. Exhale, have a beautiful practice, guys. As we release the fingertips, finding our all fours. Release the toes, cat and cow. So exhale, tip chin to chest, drawing up through the lower belly. And inhale, softening, lifting, expanding through the front, collarbones forward. Exhale. And feel free to move this, guys, at home. If you're really craving a rock forward and backwards as you do this, it doesn't have to be so conventional. You might choose to roll the hips and the ribs in 2 different directions as well. So just have a play around for a moment as you follow your inhale and exhale. Marry in movement to your breath. Taking 2 more, inhale and exhale. And our last round will bring us back to find our neutral spine. So it's a place in between the 2. Once we're here, tuck the toes back under and hover your knees off your mat, just an inch. Now protract through the shoulders so you'll push up, pressing into the mat, lifting up here, keeping the collarbones as wide as possible, keeping your upper back lifted. Start to see if you can drop the knees an inch further in the direction of your mat, still hovering them. Still keeping that core firing up. So again, a band is switching on now. We can feel the heat. Take one more inhale, and as you exhale, lift your hips up, find your downward facing dog. Shake the head out, press down through the palms. So again, just checking that the biceps are rotating round towards the ears. Our feet are hip distance apart for the moment. And if we need that bend in the knees, we're more than welcome to take it. Peaking the tailbone right up in the air here. So when you're ready, we are going to bend our right knee and lift it up towards the ceiling on our next inhale. You can either pause and hold here, squaring the shoulders, or start to circle this knee, just getting some movement there, warming up the hips. Just taking one more in this direction, and then we're going to reverse. Keep your breath present the entire time. Notice if you disconnect. Notice if the mind brings you off the mat. Just drawing yourself back on. From here, we're going to bring our right foot to the outside of our right palm, and then the left foot follows, comes behind the left palm, finding our Melasna yoga squat at the top of our mat. So again, bring your hands to heart center, press the elbows into the inner thighs so we can really focus on this lift up through the crown of the head, down through the hips. Just taking one more breath here. Adding in a block if you need to, guys, underneath the sit bones, just like so. Just helps us out a little bit more, especially if we're struggling to get the heels down to the floor. That's okay. It's a process. From here, plant the palms down, step your left foot to the back of your mat. Keep your hands on the inside of this right foot. Knee in line with the ankle, and just start to take circles. These can be small, these can be big. Up to you, just a gentle circle in the hips. One more. And then stepping that right foot back into your down dog. Inhale forward to your plank pose. Exhale your knees, chin and chest, so hips up. Slide through to find that cobra line, baby cobra. And then exhale, come through all fours to find your downward facing dog. So warming up through the body. Left leg, we bring the knee up on our next inhale. Stay here if that suits you, otherwise begin to circle the knee. Just seeing how wide you can start to expand up and over. Still pressing the right heel away, squaring down through the shoulders, and then start to reverse that. Take it the opposite direction. Creating space. That's it, one more. And then stepping the left foot to the outside of the right palm. Right foot comes to the outside of the right. And we drop back into that yoga squat where we just were. Again, pulling the thighs back. Adding your blocks if you like that the first time round here. And breathe. Notice how nice it feels to just begin to move and kind of get rid of any bits of tension that we may have come into over the weekend. A lot of sitting again, so just firing up the body, finding that energy. Plant the palms down. Stepping right foot to the back of the mat. Now hands come to the inside of that left leg. And we again start to circle the hip. Just gently out and around. And then stepping our left foot back to meet our right. Finding our plank position. Inhale. Exhale, knees, chest and chin. Down to the floor. Inhale, slide it through. Hug the elbows in. Make sure the shoulder heads are drawing up, back and down. And then exhale, take it back to find your downward facing dog. Take one full breath. Make sure we're pressing through all 4 points, hands and feet, down into the earth. Perhaps feeling a little bit more length now, in through the hamstrings. Inhale your right leg to the sky, squaring the hips, squaring the shoulders. Exhale your right knee to your right upper arm. See how it feels to just connect there. Inhale, sweep it back, pressing the heel away if that helps. Exhale, knee to nose, tiger curl, doming in the upper back. Inhale, sweep the leg back. And this time your knee comes across towards your left upper arm. We either pause or we pivot on the back foot. Inside edge, let this leg go long. Press the outside edge of that foot down and lift our hips as we reach our left arm to the sky. And send it overhead. See if there's any more lift. Press your right shoulder away from your ear And then bring the palm down and extend that leg back. As we exhale, step it between the palms. Lower your back knee. Find your Anjaneyasana, lifting up through the fingertips. So here we can take a moment to relax the shoulders, find a sense of activeness through the front body, but a sense of passiveness, that not over-efforting too much, finding some ease here. Let the hips drop. Let them draw down towards the mat. Just give me a little lift up through the waistline so ribs are not flaring too much. Now, as we bring the palms to heart center, start to twist. So we're going to hook our left elbow over our right thigh. And as we do, press the palms tightly together. Now, you might choose to stay here or tuck the back toes, lifting your back thigh off the mat. Now, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, bring those elbows away from the thigh. Otherwise, keep hooking, finding that twist. Breathing in, exhaling away. Now, as we inhale to rise, we come straight to find our warrior two. Right arm forward, left arm back. Bend into your front knee. And again, square those hips. Press your back heel down your mat at a 45-degree angle. Inhale, flip the front palm. Find your reverse. Taking it over, lifting that front heel if you want to here. Keep your front knee pressing out. Now, from here, keep your right arm lifted. We're going to stretch the legs heading towards the back of our mat. So as we do, we pivot on the feet. We're now turning, and this right palm comes down towards our mat, and our left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Yeah, so we're in our twist here. Start to pivot on the outer edges of your feet. Take this slow, and heel toe this front foot down the mat slightly. That will feel a little nicer. Now we lift the hips. We've got options here. We can stay or come into our full side plank, Skandasana, somewhere here. If we're modifying, you just drop that bottom knee. And you can meet me here. Lifting through the hips. Inhale. Exhale. And we're all going to bring this top arm down. Take it through a variation of a flow that suits you here. Could be onto the front of the body. Chaturanga, cobra, or upward facing dog. Thighs off the mat. Collarbones wide. Exhale. We're all going to meet back in our downward facing dog. Take an inhale, reset, exhale. Ready to go again on that left leg now. So we're at the back of our mat, and we're going to end up at the front of the mat at the end of this. So inhale, lift your left leg towards the ceiling. Square the hips, square the shoulders. Feel that sense of the heel or the toes reaching away from the fingertips. Exhale, bring that knee to your upper arm. Squeeze as you press. Inhale, sweep it back. Exhale, knee to nose, tiger curl. Press into the floor. Inhale. Exhale, taking that knee to the opposite elbow now. So right elbow, either hold or unfold as we start to come to the inside edge of our back foot, outside edge of our front foot, lifting the hips up here, reaching the fingertips. Start to take them over the head and see if there's any more press of the mat away from you as you lift your hips. Left shoulder away from left ear. Bring the palm down. Inhale that left leg to the sky. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose and step that foot between your palms, lower down onto the back knee. And you can totally shuffle this heel forward if you need to. It doesn't quite make it there. Help it get to the top of your mat. Inhale into that Anjaneyasana, finding this lift. Developing our breath and that connection. So just take a moment to come back to your intention you set while you're here. Being mindful of it. Just shifting any frustrations, letting them go. Taking one more full breath. As we exhale, our palms come to heart center, and we take a twist the opposite side. So that opposite elbow is going to hook the thigh. Either stay or tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee off. Keep pressing down into the mat. So big toe mound is going to help balance us here. Again, if you took that challenge, take the elbows away from the thigh. One more breath. Great, guys. As we inhale, we rise into that warrior two. Left arm forward, right arm back. Bend into the front knee. Press your back heel down your mat so the toes are coming up at 45 degrees. Now flip your front palm. Inhale to reverse the warrior here. Take it up. Enjoy that length that we're getting in the left-hand side. And then stretch your left leg. Start to pivot through the feet. Take your left arm over towards the inside of your right foot. Right arm lifts. So we're back at the top of our mat now. We're reaching where we begun. Start to pivot on the feet. So you can see I'm coming onto the knife edge of both feet. Start to slide that front foot down ever so slightly to help you out here. Now choose where you want to go. Maybe you're going to see how this feels as we come into our side plank, lifting the hips. Again, we can always modify. Here is wonderful, we can stay. Breathing in, exhaling away. One more breath, lift. And as we exhale, bring the palms down, take it through a variation of your flow, or you could skip it all out and join me back in your downward facing dog today. Take a moment to breathe in. Exhale, powering down through the heels. When you're ready here, inhale, lift the heels, bend your knees, gaze forward, and jump, step, or float your way to the top of your mat. As we get here, inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, dropping the head. And we're going to round up through the spine, bringing our arms by our ears as we come to standing, and then pulling the hips back to come into our chair pose next. So we're here, drawing back with the hips. In this position, see if you can lift your waist slightly, pulling the ribs in. And then start to make sure that you can actually see your toes when you gaze down. So the knees are in line with the ankle and our weight's back. Bring your hands to heart center here. We're going to twist towards our right. So your left elbow hooks over that front thigh. Make sure your left knee didn't pop forward, draw it back. Start to gaze down towards the toes as you get here and see if you can bring your left heel towards your sit bone, bending the knee, finding a balance now. Perhaps you can start to reach that leg back all the way to the back of your mat, and as you get there, then take a gaze over your right shoulder, press the palms together, increasing that twist. Good job. Now start to come up from here, warrior two, top of the mat, pivoting on the back foot, bend the front knee. From here, we're going to start to stretch our front leg, turn out our left toes, so we can come to the back of our mat in Skandasana. Use your fingertips to bring you down if you need to, and flex this right leg so that the toes and the knee are facing the ceiling. If your heel needs to come off the mat, that's okay. Keep your fingertips there. Otherwise, your heel comes down and we draw the hips back. Now take your left arm over to the left, reach your right arm up to the ceiling. Taking a bit of a twist here. Pulling the inner thighs, release, and then bring that right palm down. Keep going over your left shoulder so you're at the back of your mat. Press the back heel away, bend into this front knee. Now see if you can start to lift the abdominals away from your front thigh. Bring in the arms, or the biceps in line with the ears here. Trying to press away, feeling this front leg work. That's it. Now as we inhale, we're going to lift. See if we can bring our right knee all the way towards us. And then take it right back to where it just was. And again, squeeze, pull that knee in. And this time we're going to stay. Catch the knee for me and bring the opposite hand to the hip. So Pada Skandasana here as we come up. So lifting through the upper body, standing tall. Either stay or take your two peace fingers to your big toes. Reaching the heel away. Finding this lift through the torso. And start to then open it out, only if you want to. Find your gaze, your drishti spot just in front of you, somewhere you can focus, find balance, and then start to bring the leg right back. As you let go, can you keep it there, reaching the fingertips up, and then bring your hands to heart center. Sweep that front leg back and find your warrior three. So as we start to drop the shoulders, they become in line with our hips, and then hopefully our heel is there too. We're dialing our right hip down, drawing our left hip up out of the mat. So not sinking in the pelvis at all. Take one more breath. And as we exhale, we step back to find our high crescent lunge here, opening up. Great, and from here, front of your mat, warrior two. So we go over our right shoulder, we pivot, bend into your right knee, front of your mat. Flip the palm, reverse, take it over. And then as we exhale, plant the palms down onto the mat, windmill them down. Step it back to downward dog or taking it through a flow of your choice. Inhale and exhale. Downward facing dog. Now if you need a child's pose for a moment, feel free to take it. Otherwise, we're going to hold our downward dog for 2 more full breaths here. Inhaling, exhaling away. Again, 1 more breath. Inhaling, exhaling out. When you guys are ready, meet back in down dog. Lift the heels, bend the knees, gaze forward. Jump, step, or float your way to the top of your mat. And we're going to come straight back into our chair. So bend the knees. Inhale the arms forward. Bring the hands to heart center, opposite side now. So our right elbow is going to come across the thigh. We hook. We press the palms tightly, finding our twist. Knees aligned, so pull that right hip back. And look down at the toes. Let's start to squeeze our right heel right up towards us, finding a balance. Start to send it back. Keep it going. And then at the very last moment, we step back onto that mat. So keeping this twist, keep looking over your left shoulder, breathing into that, breathing out. One more breath here. And then let's come into our warrior two, top of the mat, pressing the back heel away. Now, as we extend this front leg, we start to turn out the opposite thigh, coming down to find our Skandasana, second side. So bring your left foot or toes and knee facing the ceiling. Fingertips come in front of you again. Don't worry if your heel's not quite down. Your right arm's going to press away and go further out to the right. So it presses into this inner thigh slightly, and reach your left arm up. Inhale. Exhale. Start to bring the palm round. We're going over our right shoulder now. Top of the mat. Breathing in. Breathing out. Taking one more breath here. Breathing out. Now power into your front foot. Start to lift the arms. Bring them in line with your ears. And again, we're on this incline forward. We're leaning forward. Press into the mat. Start to find our lift. Bring your knee towards the heart. And then take it back, sweeping it all the way back. One more. Inhale, lift. And here we come to find our balance. Again, Utthita coming up next. So let's lift the chest nice and high. Let's start to take the knee perhaps, and you can stay here the entire time. Otherwise, peace fingers, so index finger and middle finger come to the toe. We start to reach the heel away. We start to take it out to the side, lifting the chest high. Inhale. Exhale, finding that balance, finding your gaze. Enjoy the wobbles, embrace them. If you've fallen, come straight back in, and then come back to center. Releasing the toes, start to sweep that leg right back behind you, tilting the chest, finding warrior three. So Virabhadrasana 3 here, reach the back heel away, square the hips, square the shoulders. Nice, take another breath. Really lifting up out of that right hip and stepping back to find your high crescent lunge. Inhale, and then as we exhale, go to the top of your mat, left arm forward. Warrior two, flip the palm, reverse, take it over, and then windmill the palms down to your mat. Step it back, option to go through another flow of your choice. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Really nice job, guys. We're coming down now, so breathe, take one more second here. Allowing any frustrations to leave us again. Just embracing the body we've brought to the mat today. And then when you're ready from here, we're going to take our right knee towards our right wrist, bringing it down onto the mat. Sliding the back thigh away, coming into our pigeon. So as we square the hips here, option to add a block underneath the sit bones. Otherwise, squaring off the hips, lift through the chest, and then start to bring it down when that feels good to you. Taking an inhale, exhaling away, softening through the shoulders, and again, bringing your awareness back to your jawline. Habitually, we tend to store a lot of tension there without realizing. So if you notice it, direct your breath there, release. Taking one more inhale. As we exhale, walk your fingertips in towards you. Bring your back leg to the top of your mat. So your left leg comes forward. Sole of the right foot to the inner thigh of the left leg. Janushusasana now, lifting up, tall through the fingertips. Exhale towards the toes. So we're in this direction. Doesn't mean we need to grab them. We're just heading in that direction as we fold forward. Inhale. Exhale, letting the head go, let the back of the neck rest. Taking one more breath. As we exhale, roll up through the spine. Bring the knees together. Lift up through the heels, finding Melasna boat pose for a moment. Reach the fingertips forward if that feels good to you. And then hands behind the back of the thighs. Give yourself a little rock back. A rock forward, cross the ankles, lift the hips, step back to your downward facing dog. And then bring in your left knee. So you can either sweep the leg up first or just bring it forward. Knee to the back of the left wrist. Pigeon on that second side, allowing the toes to move back, hips to square. Inhale, lift through the chest. And exhale to fold over. Coming down onto the forearms or perhaps going a little further. Up to you. Breathing in. Exhaling away. One more breath here. Great, and as you exhale, bring the palms in, sweep your back leg round and forward to the top of the mat. Sole of the left foot now to the inside of the right thigh, lifting tall, exhale over for our second side of head to knee pose, dropping down. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. And as we exhale, begin to roll up. Take the legs long in front of you, bend the knees if you need to. Scoop the arms forward and just slowly dismount down onto your mat, rolling through every single vertebrae in the spine. And as you get there, completely relaxed. You've made it to your Shavasana. So as you start to tick off through the body, enjoy these next few moments. If you have the time to stay, I really want to encourage you to stay and enjoy the end of your practice. Don't skip it. A big thank you from me, guys. Thanks for joining me and good luck with this week. Namaste.